Hello everyone, I'm Broughy1322 and welcome to another episode of the Choking Hazard podcast, week 48 now. Getting closer to that big 50. Got my
Yay!
got my usual co-host RDT33 over there in
What's up, everybody?
in the place where a certain someone would normally be. But
Oh, am I in Nasa spot?
you're in Nos spot.
Hell yeah, brother, moving up in the
We're
world.
on the same level, and then we've got the big Choking Hazard podcast logo at the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, no nos, but as always, we do have MB Hammer,
Hello.
and we're all gonna just chill out and talk about nonsense. Basically, I don't really have much to bring to this one, but there's certain things that have been put down on the document that we look at. So there's things we can go through and talk about. But before we do get into it, I think it should be said, since it was only about an hour ago that it was announced.
Oh, what a scumbag!
I forgot to turn off the sounds. Great job, Broughy. Okay. The Formula 2 driver Antoine Hubert was involved in a massive crash at Spa a few hours ago, and he's unfortunately passed away. So we obviously wanted to just pay our respects to him and rest in peace. It's horrible, really. I saw the crash live, and it was really bad. So you never like to see that. 22 years old. It's no age. So yeah. Just wanted to get that out of the way at the start.
Yeah. Obviously, thoughts and prayers go out to his friends, family, fans.
Yeah. Wow, born in 1996. That's scary.
Yeah,
Dangerous sport, man. It really is.
dangerous sport. You got to remember,
Sometimes we forget.
it's you got a short time here, man. You got to appreciate everybody that you have contact with while they're here, and just that's it. Yeah, hug your loved ones.
Yeah, you never know. Enjoy every day. So
Absolutely.
let's what?
What?
You look like you were about to say something. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna be like, I don't know where we're gonna go from here, but we'll try to distract
you
you
a bit more upbeat, shall we?
Yeah, enjoy this little hour and a half, 2 hour distraction from the realities of life.
That's it.
We're here to get together and just have some fun.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
So Nos isn't here because he's a scrub who decides that he needs to work suddenly. I mean, why does he need to? Why does he need a job?
works?
What's that all about?
He's graduated to hardcore pizza boy.
Yeah, he's progressed to doing all the jobs now. But yeah, he mentioned previously that it's sort of college football season is starting, and he's just gonna be Saturdays not possible to work. We did give the option to maybe move the podcast to early on a Saturday so that we could kind of get one recorded and done before he goes to work, but not possible this time. So we'll see how that goes.
Also said that if he can make half of the podcast or 30 minutes of the podcast, he can come in and then head out. But
Yeah,
it doesn't look like that's possible. He did have a message for y'all, a couple of messages.
Oh, yeah, he did.
That I'll read off since I have an American accent. Specifically verbatim, he said, "Since I'm not there, tell everyone I give them a raise hail, praise Dale, drive fast, eat ass." I'm going to make this one a little bit more PG so that I stay in good favor with the LGBTQ. Shift gears, drink beers, and yee. Oh, and roll tide. Hell yeah, brother. That's all he wanted to say. So
that's Nos's message.
yeah.
Here in spirit, I think.
That's true what Jan says, I suppose. It was us who gave him the serious talking to motivate him to get a job, so we can't really complain.
You know what? That's a good point.
Yeah, we got to be happy that he's actually doing something, I suppose. So
He's contributing to society. Good on
yeah,
him.
we'll see if he can be on the podcast. Hopefully for episode 50 at least, but we don't really know how it's going to be. We'll see. RDT has been in a different room for each of the last 3 or 4 podcasts. Explain
This is
yourself.
actually the same room. This is actually the same room as last time, but we moved the desk from that wall to this wall. That's why I'm super white right now.
Okay.
Just the king of whiteness. I'm just.
It's quite bright.
I have just sunshine on my face. Right
You
now.
almost can't see your AirPods because they're just blending in with your face.
I'm sorry. What was that? Sorry, I don't speak broke. Sorry. Okay.
So the first thing that's on the list is the stream crew Purge. And I imagine that Hammer has a few things to talk about this. Do you know that this has been going on, RDT? Because I don't think you requested any kind of new crew spot during this whole week.
Yeah, no, I'm totally up on that. Yeah.
As if you played GTA. As if we played GTA outside of what? Yeah. So the crew page, we've moved to a new GTA crew and purged a lot of people because the old one was getting full, and lots of inactive people and stuff like that. So there was basically a system in place for people that they had to follow these 3 steps to get their new place in the new crew and be there permanently. And that was a little bit too much for people. A little bit too much.
Yeah, I think my favourite one was Oleg, who managed to put a notification reaction on each of the messages that I sent in announcements. So he put a reaction on each of the statements that I did, and then didn't follow steps 1 and 2 and just did step 3. So I really enjoyed kicking Oleg from the crew this morning.
I've wanted to
Oleg.
for so long.
Just follow the steps.
Wherever you are. I've wanted to kick you for so long, bro.
So the steps
Since we were on
were
Skype.
Step 1 was
Step 1 and 2 were essentially the same thing.
Yeah, they were. Step 1 and 2. Yeah, step 1 and 2 were basically just step 1, and then step 3 was really step 2. But you had to go to a specific channel in Discord and type in your social club name. That was step 1 and 2. 1, go to the channel. 2, type your social club name. Step 3 was actually join the crew, so that you could then be promoted. So
I don't know about all that.
Then the idea was that people would join the crew, we would see their social club name that they wanted to be promoted, they'd keep their permanent place, and then all was good. But some people didn't do steps 1 and 2 and just joined the crew. So obviously they then got kicked because they didn't put their social club name, so how were we supposed to know that they could then be promoted? And then there was the other people who did step 1 and 2 but never actually joined the crew. So they did the hard bits, linking their Twitch account, Discord accounts, all that kind of stuff, typed in where they needed to type, but didn't actually join the crew to be promoted.
We went through different, progressively more obvious ways of highlighting all of the 3 steps. So the first thing that I did was I put follow all 3 steps below in bold in the Discord. And then
first step.
the next one, I made all 3 of the steps also separated and numbered, and made sure all the language was 100% easy to follow.
And then bolding the numbers.
Bolded only join the crew. And that still didn't work. There were still people joining that didn't join the crew. So then I set up a bot command so that every time somebody posted social club in Discord, it was posted a message from the bot saying, please also join the crew at this URL.
The lengths that you have to go to get people to follow some simple instructions.
Oh my god.
It was
so frustrating.
But it actually brought me back to doing it all for Nodo, because it was exactly the same thing. And over the course of maybe 2 or 3 years of doing these constant crew purges, the instructions and the information threads and things like that always did that same progression of bolding certain things, spacing things out, making things bigger, because people would just somehow fall into the same issues. But it was so simple to do, but you know.
Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine, when I was in primary school, one of our teachers, an amazing teacher, it reminded me, he gave me this test, and it was one of the best life lessons I think I've ever learned. So just one day, without any notice to anyone, he just started handing out test papers to everyone. And the test paper had weird questions on it. There were things like, count backwards aloud from 10 to 0, and get your ruler and wave it in the air and things like that. So he handed out the test papers and then went and sat at his desk with his arms folded. And then as like, it was for about half an hour this went on, and you just heard various people going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and then waving the rulers in the air and things like that. And at the end of the half hour, he stood up and he went, right, that guy over there, points to the one guy that did absolutely nothing the whole time. He goes, that guy passed, the rest of you all failed. What does the first thing on the paper say? It says, do not start until the teacher says begin.
Okay.
So it was just a lesson in always read the questions, and read all of the information that's available to you before you do anything.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It brought me back to that, and I was just like, it's
difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, the crew purge is essentially done now. We're back into just adding people regularly. So we cut down from, I think, 950 members to about 230. So it's quite a big cull.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes over the next couple of days.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be people coming in now.
Yeah, there's some people that just muted the announcements channel, so never saw anything about it. And then they're messaging me going, why did I get kicked? It's like, well, I mean...
Well, I did also mention it on the stream before I did it as well, on the night before, so... There's no excuse.
And I also changed the motto of the old crew to say, this crew is now closed, please go to Broughy's Discord.
Yeah, it's impossible though. There's no surefire way to get everybody to do all the same things. So, Hyperdrive.
Yeah, yes. What the hell is this?
What is this?
Hammer.
Yeah. Do you want to bring up the trailer, Brough?
I don't really want to play the trailer on stream because...
Are you worried about copyright?
Yeah.
Play it muted.
Well, no, it detects the visual stuff as well, copyright ID.
I don't know if you know how copyright... Talk to Major Copyright about copyright. Copyright knows about it.
Yeah, but never mind.
We'll leave a link to the trailer in the description. Let's do that and link it in the chat now.
There's a new show on Netflix called Hyperdrive, and it's essentially Ninja Warrior, but for tuners. So people from all over the world have tuned cars specifically for this event. It's an obstacle course set in a disused nuclear power plant.
That's already pretty cool.
What? Wait, what? You didn't mention this.
Yeah, it's in a disused nuclear power plant that they've converted.
This is Chernobyl season 2.
So they've got obstacles like you've got to do a J turn in a really confined space.
Around the puppy with 6 legs.
It's got pylons all the way along the narrow sort of corridor that you do, and you get like time penalties for knocking them over. There's this thing called I can't remember what it's called, but it's a giant 6-story tall seesaw that they have to balance with their car. So it's all clutch control and everything. And there's like a flooded skid pan. So it's like just a wide rectangle of just water that's about a foot deep on each side, and then just like a narrow bridge to go through it. But they can't see the track to go through it. It's got like reflectors on it that light up when you go through and everything. And if you go off the side, then it floods your engine and stuff. It's super interesting. It's really good. What I would say about it though is it's horrendously badly edited. Like, just
is
really
it over
badly
edited?
It's over edited and under edited at the same time, and also they've done this thing that's really horrendously annoying. I don't know if it's designed to make you binge watch, but so they do it in it's like a tournament. So each week or each round there's 8 contestants, and 3 of them go through to like the next round or whatever, and then there's a group of them that go on to another elimination round so that they can get through in that round, and then there's like 3 that get chucked out. So you would think each episode would be a block like that, but it's not. It's like a block and then half the block of the next one, and then the next episode is the remainder of that block. It's so annoying. The way that they've cut it together is terrible. But
so the actual premise and content and show itself is good, but the editing of the show leaves a lot to be desired.
Lot of work. Yeah. Okay. And I think one of the presenters is former UFC fighter Michael Bisping, and I'm pretty sure they've got a Michael Bisping soundboard. Because every time the contestants floor it at the start, all you hear is Bisbing going, "Wow!
Oh,
wow!" it's like
believe you me, buddy.
Yeah. So what's interesting about it is they've not given any of the contestants any budget for their cars. They've not given them any budget to get there. So they're all just turning up off their own back. So you've got like failed racing drivers that are turning up, failed drift cars that are turning up, just basic modders of cars and things like that. There's a guy from Birmingham in the UK that turns up with a 1940s Vauxhall Bedford van that he's stuck a V6 in.
What?
It's just there's all the cars are from all over. There's a millionaire that turns up with a Lamborghini Huracan. It's all over the place. It's amazing. It's so good. It's so good.
I'm gonna have to check. But see, the thing, I'm looking forward to trying it and checking it out. But it could very easily go like the other way, and I'll just get sick of it because of if it's too in your face and edited and all that kind of stuff. It sounds like it could be like that.
Yeah, there's a young girl from the slums in Soweto in South Africa that's brought her BMW M3, and she got picked up by Charlize Theron. She's one of the executive producers for the show, and she heard about her because she's South African, so she went over and picked her up and everything. And it's just there's some great stories in it. Some great stories.
I like how they start the first episode with the premise of amateur drivers, then have former F3 drivers.
Yes.
If you've done F3, you're not an amateur. That's true.
Yeah. There's people from all over the world. There's a guy from Japan that's amazing. He's got his own drift school, and he comes with he's done out a Toyota Crown in the Japanese police things, and he's got police sirens on the top and everything. It's great.
All right. Well, something to check out. Hyperdrive on Netflix, I guess, for us car aficionados.
One more thing to mention. One of the American contestants. Do you want to hear how American his name is?
Hold on. Let's take a guess.
Take a guess, RDT.
Okay.
Tom Smith or something. I don't know.
What? No, that's just white.
Okay.
No. American. His name is probably Russell Steel Driver.
Yeah. His name is Fielding Shredder.
Well, I mean, that wasn't far off.
Okay.
Fielding Shredder.
Okay.
Fielding Shredder.
Yeah.
I think I feel like if his name was the other way around, it would make more sense. If it was Shredder Fielding, I'd be like, all right, okay, that's a makes sense. But his first name's Fielding. I don't know about
Fielding
Yeah,
Shredder.
it works better the other way around.
I thought you'd laugh more than that. That to me when I first saw it was a floral birch moment.
The floral
was
bench.
like-
Yeah.
That's a crazy
like,
name.
His name can't be that.
That's an insane name.
Oh,
Not gonna
man.
lie.
Speaking of American tropes and idiosyncrasies and things like that.
Oh, here we go. Here's the racist portion of the show.
No.
Let's just dump on the American because I'm out.
No, this is a genuine sort of question and
Mm-hmm.
intrigue I have because we were talking in the pre-show. If you haven't seen the pre-show, then you're obviously not on Patreon.
a real fan.
But
You don't care.
you'll see it next week. I think it gets uploaded a week after on the Choking Hazard channel. But we were talking about different sports and college football, and it led to sort of NFL and all that kind of stuff. And I've always wondered about this, how NFL teams can just change where they're based. Like from a UK sort of football, with soccer, rugby, all this kind of stuff. You couldn't imagine a team, say Manchester United or Manchester City, moving from Manchester to somewhere else. Like, it makes no sense. How does that work in America? And where are the allegiances? Are you alleged with the team regardless of where they're based, or you're alleged with a team that's based in your city? What's the deal?
Fair question. It's strange because the NFL is such a young organization in terms of, like, when you compare everything else. I think maybe professional football only started in like the 1920s.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think it was there was football teams before that.
There were football teams before that, but I don't know if professional football was
Yeah,
an actual
yeah,
thing
makes sense.
until around like the early 20th century.
Yeah.
There was college football before that. Rutgers was like one of the first in New Jersey. Was one of the first college football teams that had that. But in the early days, teams would move around a lot. Like what's now the Indianapolis Colts used to be the Baltimore Colts. Like stuff like that.
The
There used to be
Chargers
the
is what
Houston
we were saying
Oilers.
as well, with like recent.
Yeah, we were talking about the Chargers, which, as far as I know, have always been San Diego. But you know how elitist Los Angeles is. They have two teams for every single professional sports league that I can think of. They've got the LA Dodgers and the Anaheim Angels, which is like, I think Los Angeles is technically like around that area. But I don't know. Like, you're talking about the Chargers because they moved from San Diego to Los Angeles, and I think the Oakland Raiders are going to be moving to Las Vegas. It's like, if you want a short answer, if you want the only answer that I can think of, it's money. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like because NFL stadiums are built by taxpayer dollars.
Oh, they
So
are?
if a team, no, they're not supplied by anybody else. If the people in
Had
that
no
city
idea.
want, if the people in that city want to keep their NFL team, the owner will say, "Hey, we want to build a new stadium. Let's raise taxes. Let's build this stadium." If the people are like, "No, we don't want to do that," they say, "All right, cool. We're going to LA." So I think
Wow.
that's probably what happened to San Diego. Yeah.
That sounds crazy to me. The NFL stadiums are paid by the taxpayers.
It's literally the craziest thing I can think of. Like they
Is
force
it?
the people to pay for it.
Is everyone in America on the take? Like, every single person seems so corrupt.
That sounds
Yeah,
so...
pretty much.
because they must be bringing in millions and maybe even billions of dollars as teams. And they... What?
And none of it comes back to the people. Like,
No.
none of that goes back into the people. The class that I took in college, the sports economics class, showed that teams that host the Olympics, it has no financial benefit to that city at all. If
Yeah, I
anything,
think I've
they
seen
lose
that.
money.
Yeah.
It's like why do we want to do this?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point? Just so
Yeah.
we can be like, yeah, we hosted the Olympics. We have an NFL team. Like, this is crazy. It's like, it has no financial benefits to the people other than, I guess, morale and support for the city.
Yeah. So are you elite? Like, do you have a team that you follow? Like, what's your team say?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Philadelphia
till I die,
Eagles.
bro.
That was
Are you
it. I
kidding
remember.
me?
I forgot. I
you
was
kidding
gonna
me? How
say
could
that,
you
but I
even
didn't want to
question
say it
that?
and get it wrong, and then
Get
be
outta
like,
here. Leave me and Hammer for the rest of the podcast. Are you crazy?
But
asking me
if
questions
the
like
Philadelphia Eagles moved somewhere else, would you still be an
never do
Eagles fan or what?
that. Well, they would never do that. So
No, but what if they did?
well, they wouldn't. So
But you can't say, well, they wouldn't. Like, is the allegiance with the city or with the city's team, or is it with a team, or maybe people are sort of split down the middle between the two?
well, it's weird. I guess it depends on who wants to make the move. Like, if the owner is the one that says, "Hey, we're going to move this to Delaware or whatever. Like, we're going to be the Delaware Eagles now."
Uh-huh.
I might still be like, "All right, whatever, cool." But it's like, I don't know. It's strange. It's a strange question to have. I would ask someone from San Diego that may have been a Chargers fan.
Yeah.
Because people in LA have no love for the Chargers. They're all on the Los Angeles Rams, who
Right.
moved from St. Louis.
Oh
Because
yeah.
they started out the Los Angeles Rams. Then for 20 years they were the St. Louis Rams, and then they moved back to Los Angeles.
Oh my god. What?
So
So if the stadiums are paid for by the taxpayer and a team moves, does that mean there's like a power vacuum between all the rookie teams, and then the best rookie team moves into the old stadium, or the stadium just leaves?
There's no such thing.
It's empty. It's just
when
empty.
it comes to the National Football League, there's no such thing as like a
So
Premier
somebody has-
League.
So
and then,
somebody has to create a team to move in then, essentially, to the old
maybe,
stadium.
or they tear it down. I don't know what happens to old stadiums.
Jesus.
Maybe they become like
What a mess.
training stadiums. I don't know. Just
my God.
for rock concerts and stuff. I don't know.
Oh, I suppose you could use it for like as a commercial space for rock concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. That's true.
According
But-
to certain people in the chat, it seems like at least Raiders fans are no longer Raiders fans now, and
Because they're moving.
most fans don't normally follow a team when they move. They just pick up new fans from the new city, which is kind of how I assumed it would be. Because if I was following a team and they moved away from my city, I'd be like, well, okay, what why should I? Why do I care anymore? But
Yeah.
it just seems such a weird thing that if coming from the UK where everything is sort of it's based on, teams are based on where you are. That's the whole idea of it. And you have each team for a team for each city or a team for each town or whatever. It's so strange to have a team just move somewhere else.
Yeah, it's insane. It doesn't happen very often, but over the past couple of years, it seems like it's become more in fashion for some reason.
Right.
I don't even know. But,
It's as if the identity is more about the name of the team, like Raiders or Eagles or whatever, than it is the place that they are, it seems.
yeah, but you can't even compare the Eagles to any other team. We're different, man. We're gonna win the Super Bowl this year, and I'll bet anybody in this chat that the Eagles are gonna win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
I actually, Hammer, I won some money on the UFC event today.
Oh, you did? I've not watched the fights yet because I've been.
Oh, do you know the results? Do you care if I spoil?
I do not.
Oh, okay, I won't spoil.
I
it for
do.
you.
I can deafen myself if you want.
Okay. Well, I won some money on the main event. If you
I can't even
If you
remember
want.
what the main event was.
Jessica Andrade versus Weili Zhang or Zhang Weili.
Oh, I wonder who's going to win that.
Yeah. Well, I bet on the underdog.
Oh, interesting. Good on you. Yeah, speaking of fights, you've been rolling about on the floor a little bit, haven't you, RDT?
Oh yeah. I mean, I mentioned it before in the pre-show of the last podcast, I think. was I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And in that time, I became a one-stripe white belt, which means that I'm out there choking people on the mat. And I don't know. And in the meantime, I was in a class and had my rib either cracked or bruised. I don't know. I haven't been to class in a long time. So, and it still hurts a lot. So,
What is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and how does it differ from other forms of Jiu-Jitsu?
I actually don't know how it differs from the traditional. I think Jiu-Jitsu is a Japanese martial art, which has grappling with a little bit of striking, whereas Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is all kind of like wrestling and groundwork, and you're trying to submit people, break their arms, choke them unconscious, and like not break their arms to choke them unconscious, but incapacitate people with grappling rather than hitting them.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Cool.
So it's a lot of fun.
Have you ever done any martial arts, bruv?
I haven't. It's always been something that I've kind of had a vague interest in, but no, I've never actually done anything.
Bruv, we should get you on the UFC train.
I don't know about that. I'm not
Do you
the
like violent
I'm not
sports?
I'm not the fighting type.
No, I don't fight people, but I really enjoy watching people fight.
Bro, if he's a lover, he's not a fighter.
Yeah, that's it.
It's good though.
Brazilian.
Once you
Just gonna
understand
read
a
in the
bit
chat.
more.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is Jiu-Jitsu shaved down the sides.
Good job. Yeah, but once you understand a bit more about the fighting, and you know, RDT's got a front seat for that now, seeing as he's learning BJJ. You know, it becomes a lot more interesting, I think, because you can see, like, oh, he's going to transition to this hold and things like that. You can see them like gearing up to do certain things and whatnot. It's really, yeah,
And changing styles and things.
interesting. Yeah,
And that's how it is with, I think, everything. Like, I think people that kind of write off F1 for just being whatever, it's just they don't understand the strategy behind it. They don't see like, because
The
I was watching a
nuances.
race a couple weeks ago. I forget which one it was, but Verstappen was in the lead with like 10 laps to go, but he was on old tires, and like Hamilton was coming up, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, the
Hungary.
strategy that Mercedes
Yeah.
took. Yeah, I guess that was the one. It was
Yeah.
like Verstappen came in second.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, the strategy that Mercedes took for Hamilton was crazy, that they knew that his tires would hold up and that Verstappen's wheels would break down. But someone from the outside would be like, why isn't he driving faster? Why isn't he catching up to him? He's like, what's going on? This is stupid.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's the same sort of thing with everything. There's certain nuances to everything, and unless you actually delve into something, you're just not gonna understand it.
Yeah. That's with every sport, I think.
I think I much preferred F1. Do you remember when they went a little bit crazy for a couple of seasons, and then they would allow refueling but wouldn't allow them to change the tires? I really enjoyed that because it always ended up in somebody crashing.
Yeah, the Bridgestone.
So like, if you flat
era.
spot your tires, if you flat spot your tires in the first corner, you're gonna have a bumpy race.
Yeah. that was one of the. I think that was one of the years where was it Raikkonen? He that might have been when they could
Raikkonen
change
crash was
tires.
amazing.
I think.
Yeah.
But he tried to risk
Right.
it, and on the final lap, on the first corner of the final lap in the lead, his tire just gave out completely.
It just exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. It made things really interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to, is that Verstappen? Is that how you're supposed to pronounce it?
Verstappen. Maybe if you're Dutch, you put a sh in there. I don't know, but
Verstappen?
Verstappen?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just say Verstappen.
I don't know. Mark,
The Dutch always give a shit.
They do.
It's like Alex. What the hell am I thinking of? What's Overeem's first name? I can't think of it right now.
Alistair.
Alistair. There we go. I couldn't think of it. Yeah.
Oh, Alistair.
Be like Sean Connery.
Alistair over
So,
yeah.
Lootcrate. Lootcrate
Who's
is something that I used to do unboxings of, and alongside other boxes. Then it got way too much, and I had to stop it. But I think the day of those random loot boxes is up. It's nearing the end. They got
Yeah, I guess they filed for bankruptcy.
Yep, they filed for
Yeah,
bankruptcy.
yeah.
I think they'd been on the downward slope for a while, to be honest. But it seems like that's it now.
There's quite a few YouTubers that I watch their videos. They were just saying like the crates were turning up late, and they were getting like items that they'd had in previous crates and things like that. So yeah, it's a shame. I think possibly they failed a little bit due to their business strategy of every month you give people more stuff. Because at some point they're just going to go, well, I've got enough stuff now. I don't really need more stuff. So I'm not going to do this anymore. Yeah, so.
The thing that got me
Chapter 11.
with Lootcrate is that Lootcrate always, generally when I started doing those review videos and comparing boxes, Lootcrate was always one of the best. They were, most weeks, most months, they were at the top or close to it. But then they started to introduce like different types of crates, and I think at one point there was like 4 or 5 different crates you could buy, and then at that point it seemed like they were expanding too much to the point where their original original box just didn't have anything good in it anymore. Like they were too busy sourcing stuff for the other boxes, the more expensive box or the gamer box or whatever, that their original crate just went downhill, and I think they expanded way too much in that regard, and the crates became really bad towards the end of me doing them, and that was a few years ago.
I briefly tried the more expensive version that they tried to come out with, the Loot Crate DX, where you pay more and you get more sort of premium items and whatnot. And like after the first 2, I was like, yeah, I'm not really getting the full value for the money here, especially when you're in the UK and you've got to pay extra to ship it from the US and whatnot.
Yeah,
it just doesn't end up being, worthwhile.
Yeah, I think the sort of the one box every 3 months type thing, where it was a bit of a bigger deal, and it was something that was particularly geared to you. I think there was like a science box that Vsauce did or something like that. Like that sort of idea is better because it's not as often, and it's very specific in the things that you're going to be getting. But when it's just random stuff like a Loot Crate, it becomes old pretty quick, I think, when you're getting the same sort of stuff.
That's the model that do you remember the one sponsor that we've had of the Choking Hazard podcast, Geek Fuel?
Yeah, Geek Fuel.
Baby.
Shout out to Geek Fuel.
Geek Fuel were always one of the best as well back in the day, and they actually had. I think they still. Well, they do now because I don't do it anymore. But they had the record for the highest score ever in a single box. Like, they used to do good boxes.
Well, Geek Fuel saw that they were going downhill sharpish, I think, so they have changed their business model now so that they are only once every 3 months and more premium items.
Yeah, I think that's the better model.
So yeah, I'm still subscribed to that, I think. So yeah.
Do you still get some decent stuff?
You still get it's good and bad. And what they've started doing now is they've started doing like series of items. So one of the series of items that they've started doing is they've got canvas prints of first edition comic books that they put in the crate. So I've got like Spider-Man and Hulk and Wolverine and things like that, all the first edition, and all nice like canvas prints that you can hang and stuff, which is quite cool.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, that's a fair point, obviously, as well. As Mark Verstappen says, the reason I never got a Loot Crate of any kind is simply because I don't care about 95% of the franchises. You have to like the majority of things that you're going to get from that, and if there's only 1 or 2 things that you're going to like, then yeah,
Well, it's interesting. Before Geek Fuel swapped to that new model, they sent out a survey to everyone saying what franchises are you all interested in and what items of that type are you all interested in and things like that. And since then, I think I've only ever gotten stuff that I liked apart from like Game of Thrones stuff because I don't watch that. So yeah,
Watch everything but the last season.
no, I won't.
It's a good show.
I refuse.
It's a good show. Just like you should watch the first season of True Detective and the third season of True Detective.
I watched all three. I liked all three.
You liked all 3 seasons of True Detective? Season 2 was trash. What are you talking about?
It wasn't as good as the first and the third, sure.
Dude,
but the second one was all right.
Oh, come on, man.
It was nicely shot and well acted. I'll say that. The story wasn't great.
Yeah, but that's the thing I care. Like, I have no concerns about the acting of the people that HBO picks. Like, they're not going to shoot a show, but season 2 was so convoluted and stupid. Oh my god.
Yeah, I got annoyed with the ending of season 3 because it was like, oh,
yeah,
it's not as interesting as I thought it was.
I felt the same way. Season 3, I was like, really? It's exactly kind of what we thought it might be. Like, is this what? Okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
season 1 was like,
it is the most obvious answer. It's not something like paranormal or a cult or anything like that. It's
yeah, exactly.
It's purely just that. Okay, fine.
He was like, oh, it was oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, is that the ending? Really? It's not something. There's not somebody going to come back and just. It's going to be something completely different, or no.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as loot boxes and like subscription services are concerned, I feel like that's kind of how I feel about. I mean, if they're ever going to be a sponsor, they're not going to like this. But I subscribe to Harry's Razors, which is like every, I don't know, 4 months or something. I get a package of razors, and like I have enough razors to last me. Obviously, I don't shave that often. I have enough razors to last me the next 2 or 3 years. So I could be like, I can cancel my service, but that's, I don't know. Someone who shaves every day has a better use for something like that than I do, I guess.
So are you going to cancel it? I mean,
no.
Why?
I still have a membership. I haven't been to the gym membership. I haven't been to the gym in 8 months or whatever. So
this is where they make their money with subscriptions.
People that forget. People that forget to cancel.
That's the only reason you're still subscribed to me on Twitch. You keep saying it when you do those anniversary notifications.
Yeah,
Damn, I forgot.
That's a joke.
I know.
I like supporting you, but
oh, thank you.
Kisses. There you go.
All the love.
You're a married man. You need
it. Strange.
Did you guys hear? By the way, we talked about TV just briefly there. Did you guys hear? There's a Breaking Bad movie coming out next month.
I heard about it. I haven't still seen the final few seasons of Breaking Bad, so.
Oh, have you not? Okay, well you need to watch
that
quick then. Watch that quick.
The problem is I'm not into it. We're like midway through season 4 or something, and we got to that point maybe earlier this year or something, and I just, even up to that point, I just couldn't. I mean, it's all right, but there's other things that I've rather have watched since.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing that's drawn me back to it.
I think you're probably the first person that I've talked to that's watched it and said they didn't really. There are sort of low points in the whole thing. There's bits where you're like, it's a bit boring, and then it picks up again. But on the whole, I think it's amazing.
I mean, I think it's okay, but
I don't like anything that Broughy said.
It's just it hasn't. You know, when with certain TV shows and it pulls you in and you can't wait to watch the next episode and things like that. Breaking Bad has never done that for me. I've enjoyed it, when I've watched it, but I've not felt an absolute massive need to keep watching it.
That's interesting. I think it's the first show, possibly the first show that I've watched ever, where I've actually like at the end of seasons and stuff, my jaw has been on the floor like,
Oh, yeah.
no way. Like, it's one of the first TV shows that's ever done that for me.
Someone just said that it was overrated, which is ridiculous. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like any show or anything in general when it comes to pop culture, if someone says that, if you hear enough people say it's the best thing ever, and then you watch it and you don't like it as much, it's like you tend to say that it's overrated. Like personally, I'm along with the crowd of people that say like Ocarina of Time to me is one of if not the best video game I've ever played. So if someone says like, "Oh, Ocarina of Time's overrated," like I get it, but still,
I generally
it's overrated. Like,
I'm going to make you sad here, but I don't particularly like any of the Zelda games.
That's fine.
They just don't do anything for me. That's not to say that they're not good games, though. They may well be. They're just not my, they're just not my cup of tea.
I totally get that. Yeah, but you're wrong. So, no, it's good. I see Dr. Cola bottle, Coca-Cola bottle, Pepsi glass. Brought up The Boys, which I just finished.
Yes.
We were talking about that in the pre-show.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
You gotta watch it, man.
Yeah.
You gotta watch that. It's so good. Yeah. It's basically. Sorry, on you go.
I was just gonna say I'm too busy trying to get through the final season of Gotham. That's what I'm doing right now.
Are you watching that?
Whoa! You're watching Gotham, but you didn't finish Breaking Bad, and you won't watch The Boys.
Well, it's not that I won't watch The Boys. I've just heard it, but that's one of the things that I've preferred to watch. I've watched the entire
crazy, bro.
The entire I'm halfway through the final season, so I've watched 4.5 seasons of Gotham and Stranger Things instead of finishing Breaking Bad. That's kind of like, it's just I'd rather watch these other things than go back to Breaking Bad.
I didn't finish Stranger Things season 3 yet, so I understand.
Yeah.
Mario.
But, dude,
Mario.
Come on, man. Don't
sort yourself out.
Don't have Gotham as your number 1 and then Breaking Bad as your number 2. What are you doing? Where are your allegiances? What are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, I've been enjoying Gotham. Bazexi and I have been enjoying watching Gotham. So what can I say? Stranger Things is the best, but
Stranger Things is great.
In terms of recent Netflix TV shows. My all-time favorite TV show, I think, is still Prison Break. To be honest,
get on the Hyperdrive train. Come on,
yeah.
Let's get some Hyperdrive watched. It's so good.
Do you guys watch the new Dave Chappelle special? By any chance?
I've never actually watched any of his specials. I tell you whose special
Really?
I did watch the other day that I absolutely loved. Whitney Cummings' special. Can I Touch It? Is amazing.
I heard good things.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
I've always found her funny, but I've never watched any of her specials.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's hilarious. She's amazing. She really is. But yeah, it's another one that goes over Bruff's head, probably. Sorry, mate.
Probably.
Do you like comedy, Bruff, at all? Like stand-up?
I do. My favorite stand-up of all time is probably Eddie Murphy Raw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
wow.
so good.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Cultured. I like it.
Richard Pryor as well.
Okay.
I'm probably going to get frowned on here, but I really like Dane Cook.
When I was younger, I did.
Yeah.
I like Dane Cook. He's really
I literally just had a conversation with some coworkers about like Dane Cook had a period of time where he was so prevalent in pop culture and like his style of comedy was so ubiquitous and it was funny at the time, but eventually you're like, all right, I get it. You're screaming, you're muffling the mic, you're moving around a lot. Like maybe come up with some better jokes after a while.
Yeah, I get
through
that.
it.
I get that.
Yeah.
I saw Louis C.K. live a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Before the downfall.
No.
Yeah. Peaky Blinders is fantastic. Don't spoil it because I know it's live in the UK right now. and it's not going to be on Netflix for a couple months. I just finished the last season on Netflix in the US, so yeah.
He did, bloody Skrulls. He did keep it in his pants.
I was just that's what I was trying to say. Did he ask? That's all I'm saying.
So, strange stories. Hammer has a strange story to share, but before that, Aditi, do you want to tell us about your golfing?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying to Pointy Door earlier when we were talking about strategies for different sports. He was like, "Oh, golf has a lot of strategies," and I was like, "You're reading my mind, baby."
Yeah.
Since the last time we had a podcast, I started golfing.
What's that like?
Very bad. It is so bad. In fact, I went this morning before this podcast, and I am so bad.
I tried it once.
If you see me on my phone,
I was terrible, so I didn't bother again.
Yeah. What all those texts on my phone where I'm like, I was asking my friends if they wanted to go to the driving range just to see if, like, I need to learn how to hit a golf ball. That's basically where I'm at in my golf experience. It's crazy.
The hardest thing that I found, the hardest, most counterintuitive thing about swinging a golf club is you have to, when you're in the middle of swinging a club, what will happen is you'll swing, your club will come down towards the ball, and then your head will follow your arms up, and that just throws you off so much. You need to keep your eyes on the ball until your arms are away, and then that'll help you.
That's not my problem though.
It's
like
so counterintuitive though, because your head just wants to go, and it's not what you keep your eyes on, the pinned to the ground until you're completely finished with your swing. That's
not my problem though. Like, I have so many other problems. That's not one of them. I can keep my eye on the ball. I played baseball. I'm good on keeping my eye on things. I'm afraid of hitting the ground for some reason, like with my club, which is kind of counterintuitive. Like, you're supposed to hit the ground through the ball. Like,
I hit the ground many times when I tried.
Many divots.
Yeah.
Many divots.
I'm just afraid. Like, I'm afraid of like breaking my wrist or something. I don't know. Just bang. I don't know.
Why do you want to be decent at golf, though? Why do you want to improve at golf? Like, for me, when I played it and I didn't really enjoy it, I wasn't very good at it, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm done. I tried it a little bit. I'm not really interested.
I was exactly the same.
Well, a couple of my friends play. They invited me out a couple of weeks ago. I had never golfed, and my brother-in-law, he had an old set of golf clubs and said, "Listen, I got new clubs. You want this bag? You want these clubs?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not? I can go golfing." And so I went out, and although I played like garbage, something about it was just like, I can't stand being bad at something.
Okay.
I don't know why. Like, that's why when I started doing jiu-jitsu, I was going 3 days a week, as much as I could to the beginner classes. I need to be good at something. That's just like, I don't know why.
Don't start it if you're not going to continue, if you're not going to have,
exactly.
You're not going to end. Yeah.
And it's so satisfying too. When you hit a good shot, you're like, that was cool. And you want to keep doing it. You're like, oh, I want to be successful at something, But yeah, I don't know.
I that's more or less the reason that I stopped, because I couldn't see myself improving, and I was only making myself more and more and more angry. It was just because, like, it was my dad that taught me how to play, right? And my dad loved golfing, and he was such a bad teacher though, because he was like, here's how you hold the club, and then the rest of it was just like, yeah, you didn't want
just
to
fucking
like
hit
that.
the thing. I don't know why you were dead in Irish accent.
It was just like, yeah, you didn't want to do it like that. I'm like, well, how was I supposed to do it then? Just like, not like that. Like, I'm like, just frustrating, man. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did that many times, Remo. I did that many times. I almost broke a club over my leg once, and just in sheer frustration at not being able to do something that looks very simple, isn't though? Isn't simple.
It does. It does look, when you're seeing professionals of it. I mean, but that's so unfair to look at pros and do it. But if you look at like hobbyists, like I was playing with my brother-in-law who has been golfing for I don't know, a couple of decades now. He's only 30, but he's been playing since he was young.
Yeah.
He's taking a swing and it looks so good and he's hitting it well. I'm like, that looks simple. And then you step up there and you're like, what the hell was that? That just went 20 yards into the trees. But yeah.
It's
I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like there's a certain thing with, say, baseball. You've got a bat, and you can see how a professional does it, and you can at least hit something and see how it's done, and there's a element of, okay, well, this isn't too far away. But then you see a professional do it of golf, and then you go and stand there with your golf club, and it's kind of like, okay, now what do I do? It's like, I have no reference for this. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
I like crazy golf, actually. Yeah, I like crazy golf.
Yes.
That's always good fun.
Very good.
Do you want to tell us your strange story then, Hammer?
All right. If this gets us banned off YouTube, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So, earlier this week, I was watching TV in my flat, as you do. It was quite late at night. It was around about 10:30 in the evening. So watching TV, and I hear a knock at my door. I'm like, oh, strange. I wonder who's knocking on my door at this time. I haven't ordered any food. What's going on? So I got up, went to the door. Obviously looked through the peephole to make sure that I wasn't going to get murdered. Now in my in the hallway between our two flats, the light's out, so it's pretty dark. So I opened the peephole, and all I got through was like somebody holding a mobile phone up with a flash on it. Like I couldn't see. I was getting blinded, so I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I opened the door. Two massive guys standing there. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, hello? Like that. And they were like, one of them went, aye, this isn't it. He looks like he's in a band. Like that. I was like, oh, okay. And the other guy is looking at his phone, and he shows his phone to me, and it's got my address on it. And I went, yeah, that's this address. Like that. He goes, oh, like that. And then the other one walks off, and I was like, can I help you? What are you here for? Like that. And the guy,
who are you trying to kill?
Who
are you here to kill? Let me help you.
The guy with the mobile phone turns at me and he smiles. He goes, I was looking for a hooker.
Oh God.
Wait, whoa.
I was like, well, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm afraid I don't provide those services. I do have the long hair and the tits, but it's not something that I provide, unfortunately.
Bloody hell.
And he just started walking off. So that was my strange story of the week. Hashtag just Scotland things.
Just Scotland things.
Just Scotland things, yeah.
Bloody hell.
What was the other guy doing there?
I
don't know if they were going for a cheeky threesome or taking turns. What I do know now, though, is that one of my neighbours is a hooker. So that's interesting.
Okay. Now it's figuring out which one.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting times. Interesting times. I'll get back to the podcast audience and let you know if I ever find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good word for the comment. Yeah.
I actually have a similar story, but not exactly.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, so this was a couple years ago, maybe 17 or 18. I'm 24 now. I'll be 25 in October. Me and my buddies just got out of we went to a movie, or maybe I think we went to a movie and then we went to dinner, or we just went to dinner or whatever. And we came out, and as high school guys do, we were like arguing over who's gonna sit shotgun. Like, well, I want to sit shotgun. No, you have to sit in the back seat. No, whoa, 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 whoa. And so I thought that I claimed shotgun. My buddy claimed that he called shotgun, and me being the stubborn one, I was standing outside of my buddy's Jeep, just like, nope, I'm sitting in the front seat, not sitting in the back. All of a sudden, this lady walks up to me. She says, excuse me. And I was like, hey, how's it going? She's like, you looking to get laid tonight? And I was like, what? She was like, not by me. It's like, I'm more of a pimp, if you will. I was like, what? She was like, my friend. She was like, let me show you pictures. I was like, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. She's like, you sure about this? And then I was like, yeah, no, it's fine. She walks away, and she's like, by the way, have a good night. I was like, as she's walking away, I go, hey, pimps up. I say, pimps up, hose down. She goes, you got it. I was like, all right. I was like, let's get out of here right now.
Bloody hell.
I'm frightened.
Doesn't matter who's in the front seat. Let's just leave.
Yeah, let's go. I'll sit in the back seat. I'll sit in your lap. I don't care.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You not got any strange stories for us, bruv?
Not about hookers, I guess. I mean, no. Not really, to be honest.
I can't remember if I told this on the podcast or not, but
Missed your one and only chance.
this is another hashtag Just Scotland thing story. But I was standing outside a pub. I just had a meal with friends, and they were just like paying the bill or going to the toilet or something. So I was leaning against a lamppost trying to look all cool and shit. And this elderly lady came up to me. And she looked at me dead in the face, and she points her finger at me, and she goes, "What do you do all day?" And I was like,
What?
well, I pointed at my office, and I went, I work in that office building over there. And she goes, oh, like that, and just walks off down the street. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? What actually just happened? And I went, wait, no. And then I shouted after her, I went, wait, what do you do all day? Like that. And I swear to God, she turned around and she went, me? I'm from the mental home. Like that, and turns around and walks off. What the hell?
What?
That's
okay.
great.
The mental home, Mark.
I mean,
The mental.
F620 rules is right. You sell Scotland so well.
I know. This is hashtag Just Scotland. Thing.
Just
I
Scotland
gotta
things.
come there and get some fried pizza.
Bloody hell. Good
Yeah,
Lord.
it's some interesting things happen in Scotland.
Wow.
I envy people like you two who have stories to tell. Like, I feel like, I don't know whether it's my memory isn't good at bringing up these stories and I have had them, or I'm just that boring. I every
You gotta
time
go out.
I think it's just that I'm that boring, but I don't have stories, or at least I can't remember them. So
Nah, man. I mean, anyone has story. You have stories about something at least.
probably.
Like, what was the craziest experience on the go-kart track?
It's already in a video, and there's no point in talking about it.
Yeah, well, who watches those videos? Honestly,
I suppose.
I mean, have you ever
there's
gotten into like a physical altercation with someone on the go-kart track?
Well, I shouted at someone. I was curious
that
whether
what
it
you
would be
doing?
a physical altercation afterwards, but I couldn't really tell who it was.
Interesting.
But
So much anonymity in karting these days.
yeah, I know. I mean,
There was that time a crazy Scottish guy kissed you at Insomnia.
I do remember that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder where that guy is.
I know.
See, I don't think of these sorts of things. I'm sure these things have happened all throughout my life, but my memory isn't very good at. Like, I'm not very good at bringing things up like that just out of nowhere. I don't know what it is about my memory or brain that just doesn't work very well. Like, as soon as someone mentions something that triggers a memory like that, then, okay, I can tell a story. But I'm no good at just doing it from scratch, just on my own.
It was probably your years as a PCP addict that caused that lack of memory.
Or maybe it's
Memory
not doing
recall.
that gives me no interesting stories.
Could be, too. I'm going to go with my first one.
Old man Broughy.
That's a funny story, actually, to tell you. When I was, I think it was like 3 years old, before I can even remember. Like, this is a story that people tell me. I was like an infant, in the car, and we're up in upstate New York or something. We're going through the countryside, and I'm in a car seat, just chilling, doing my thing, doing baby things, and we're passing by a body of water, and all of a sudden, from the back seat, my parents hear in this little baby voice doing deep, going, "Old Man River." Everyone, what the hell was that? How does he even know what the hell that is?
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Apparently, I was an interesting child.
Yeah, always nice when you have stories like that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So, should we open up the phone bank for people? If anybody actually is around and wants to ask us any kind of question, feel free. Jump in the phone bank.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Don't ask anything about Scotland. I'm not allowed to tell any more stories other than the ones that I've already told. Under a full non-disclosure act from the Scottish
okay, from Scotland itself.
Yep. Sorry.
So, gaming news. We have one thing on the gaming news, and I have seen all the headlines about it, but I've had a chance to look into it. So I'll let Hammer tell us what the deal is.
Oh, okay. So NBA 2K20 just dropped its recent trailer, in which it featured. This is NBA 2K20, 2K Games owned by Take-Two, right? You know Take-Two.
We know Take-Two.
Never heard of them.
They own Rockstar, I think it is. They do a game called Grand Theft Auto.
That little indie company, Rockstar.
Yeah, Take-Two Interactive and their microtransactions have been well publicised, but what haven't been so widely publicised is maybe their gambling mechanics that they've got in game. And the trailer dropped for NBA 2K20, and hey, guess what? There's loot boxes. Oh, big surprise. Hey, guess what? There's virtual currency. Hey, guess what? There's a prize wheel. Hey, guess what? There's slot machines. Hey, guess what? There's also pachinko machines.
Bloody hell.
Hell yeah, brother.
Suitable for ages 3 and up.
Wow.
And this trailer had like famous basketball players. I don't know any famous basketball players. They had them in a webcam in the bottom left, and they had like slot machines coming down and like, oh, I just won, and everything like that. Is that not like what all these CS:GO gamblers got done for and everything?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It really is, and it's awful. And
How is that different?
Peggy released a statement, and they're like, "Oh, it's cool. We don't. It's fine. It's not gambling. It's cool."
How is that
good.
different than like cigarette companies using cartoon characters in their advertising?
Yeah.
You're using people that look up to that children look up to aspire to be like, to sell gambling mechanics. How is that legal? What?
Yep.
Oh my god! I can't believe that a game about basketball has slot machines, prize wheels, loot boxes. What? It's a game about basketball.
Yeah.
What?
It's basically they've brought FIFA Ultimate Team to
all of the sports games.
NBA 2K
Yeah.
games. And the slot machine wheels are to win different packs or different amounts of coin that you can spend on packs and things like that, so you can build up your team and customize your character and everything like that. All stuff that we used to be able to do for free back in the day.
Yeah, back
but
in the
that doesn't
day.
happen anymore.
Back
That
when
doesn't
games were
happen anymore.
games.
Yeah. So yeah, Peggy, the ratings board have come out and said they're totally fine with it, which is interesting. Because if I don't know if you'll remember, my sister told me this last night when we were discussing this very story. I'm not a Pokemon fan. You're a Pokemon fan, bruv?
Yeah.
RDT? Yeah.
No.
Do you remember when Nintendo took out gambling mechanics from their games? They had little slot machine games. It was so that they could keep their 3+ rating. This was way back.
Oh yeah, they had the casino in one of the cities on one of these
Yes.
very early games, and you could gamble. Yeah, you could gamble
Yeah.
on slot machines with coins.
Yeah, they took that out because they were scared of losing their 3+ rating. But it's cool now, so
It's cool now. It's fine, and that's not
cares?
even that would have no involvement with real money either. That's literally just.
No,
Oh
cares?
my god,
who cares?
it's crazy.
Video games, ladies and gentlemen, video games.
It is
Disgusting.
crazy. It's so bad. Like I feel like I want legislation to catch up with it and just give them all the ban hammer.
Yeah, how about instead of focusing on video games cause violence, how about we focus on video games cause gambling
Yeah,
or like something like that?
yeah,
Where that might actually have real life implications. Someone that plays GTA for an example, that's just spending all of their money for shark cards to turn into chips in GTA. Like,
yeah.
you think, I guarantee you in a couple months that's going to be a story at some point. Someone spent $10,000 trying to make money in GTA.
It will be.
Casino.
It's insane.
But
Yeah,
instead they focus on school shootings and stuff. Whatever. Let's not get political. You know?
it's so interesting that they particularly that they came from 2K after the GTA Casino update had gone out. It's like, oh, we'll just test the waters with this, shall we? Oh, it's all clear, guys. Put all the gambling mechanics in that you want. It's fine. They don't give a shit.
It feels like there's like a big difference though of the people who've experienced the older games and what games used to be like us, but then there's the younger crowd who have grown up with games being like this, and that's exactly what these game companies have wanted, because now they expect that. People don't, like, the younger kids now don't expect a game to be released. It's just a game. Can you imagine a younger person who's grown up with all these loot boxes and microtransactions going to a game now that is just, there's not, even if a multiplayer game, I'm saying, that has things that you can unlock through progression. Can you imagine?
It makes
I feel sorry for kids today. This is the experience that they have.
It makes you think, when these kids grow up, they're gonna hopefully they realize that the microtransactions aren't worth it, and us as the people who grew up with video games and then saw this move, once we start having kids, hopefully most of us say we know this isn't worth it, so we're not going to support it. So hopefully we're seeing the peak of that right now. And the people who have kids who weren't playing video games that are now buying microtransactions for their kids that don't know any better.
Yeah.
We're going to see the end of that. Whereas us who see the dangerous repercussions of that, when we have children, maybe we're going to be like, no, what the hell's a rocket pass? We're not going to get you that shit.
A little bit more clued in. But then there's so many people that aren't clued in though. Gaming is so huge now that it's just it's the mainstream.
Once those people that have to pay for it themselves, they're not going to want to do it. So
yeah,
I honestly don't know if that day will actually come, because if you look at the announcement that Psyonix and Rocket League made, they said they're taking crates out of their game. They're taking loot crates out of the game. and you'll just be able to buy each individual. It's still microtransactions, but it's not randomized, basically.
Yeah.
Which is a
fine.
step in the right direction, at least.
Do you want to hear some of the tweet replies from people? Do you want to hear?
Sure.
WTF? Epic already destroying the effing game. WTF?
Oh my god! There's such corporate defenders out there that like I don't understand.
Told you Epic would f up. You effed up, bro. LMAO. This harmed literally no one. Why are you taking it out?
Oh my god!
If you remove crates and keys, you will f this game up. I knew this would happen with Epic taking over, but people called me crazy.
But are those children?
I want a refund. I want a refund for all of my crate purchases, please.
That's it. That is it. People are addicted. Like people can't get away. Like the rarity aspect, and they want the rarest items, and they're addicted to getting the rarest items. And then you take away that element of rarity, and people. It's like cold turkey.
My absolute favorite reply to this tweet was, "Why are you changing someone that no one? Why are you changing something that no one disliked? Not one single person disliked it.
Wow.
Damn. How can people be so echo chambered?
I know.
It's crazy.
Rocket League causes violence, man. That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy, man. But yeah.
It is. It's insane how gaming has gone.
Yeah. In other gaming news, there were some announcements from PAX this weekend. CD Projekt Red announced that they're officially only going to be a 2-franchise studio, so they will exclusively focus on The Witcher and Cyberpunk from now on. No other games. Witcher and Cyberpunk are the way forward.
Okay.
Which I'm quite happy with.
That's ambitious, I guess.
Well, given that one of their franchises hasn't even come out yet,
yeah.
It might be a colossal failure, but The Witcher's still amazing, so.
Yeah, I need to play The Witcher 3, man.
I've been thinking about it over the course of the past few weeks, and I have to say Witcher 3 is the best game I've ever played.
You know what I just started playing seriously the other day, which I started, didn't really play much, but I played about an hour and a half of the latest God of War. And that game is so much fun.
It's great. Great game.
Yeah, it's something I still need to play.
Fun. Yeah.
No DLC, no microtransactions, no add-on content, just
a game.
Play story, start to finish. Yeah. It's great.
So much fun.
Great game.
Yeah.
Great game, great story, well acted. Completely new style of doing third-person gaming, where it's just the game is one continuous camera shot. Like, there's no camera transitions at all in it. It's just one continuous camera shot.
Oh, really?
It doesn't move. The camera moves out from like Kratos' shoulders and goes through like cutscenes and everything like that, but it always returns back to Kratos' shoulder.
Okay, yeah.
It's one continuous. It's one continuous. It's no. There's no cuts in it at all. Huh. No different camera angles. It's just all. It's one thing that people don't really notice about the game either, but it keeps you so much more involved in the game. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to try it.
Mario, you've got no right to tell me what is and isn't respectable, opinion-wise. Thank you very much.
So you said that Witcher 3 was your favorite game, or the best game you ever played.
Yeah, the more I think about it, it's my favorite game of all time. There are problems with it. There's like control issues with it, but everything else in the game is so well put together. And there's so much content in it. It's ridiculous.
One of those games that right now I've only put like maybe 45 minutes to an hour that I'm going to have to just restart the whole thing. I can't just
you're probably better. You're probably better doing that. It's very good at like starting you off and like it's very good at tutorializing. It's like a really sort of hands-off, hands-on tutorial, if that makes sense. So they give they give you like side missions that will give you, for example, a potion that you will use the entire game. Throughout the entire game, it's like the main thing that you do. But you don't have to do that mission if you don't want to. You can just fuck off and do something else. But it's so well done, and every little thing has got a nice story to it, and well, not always nice, but sometimes, most of the time, pretty fucking gruesome, if I'm honest. But it's great. It's so well paced as well. Like, there's so many side missions in it, but you don't have to, like, there wasn't a point in the game where I got to a main story mission and went, well, I'm under leveled for this. I'm going to have to go and do some side missions. Every time you arrived at a story mission, you were exactly the right level for it. Like, no matter what you did, it's so well done. Just incredible.
Speaking
So
of
well put together.
new games and being well done and single player type stuff, the new Gears of War is coming very shortly. And I know that everyone's going to roll their eyes at this, but supposedly they've changed up the formula quite a lot for single player. They're setting open world RPG elements and things like that, which is significantly different for a Gears of War game. So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
Well, that's good, because that's what I was kind of bored with on your playthroughs. I was just like, it is literally just go from one point to the other, shooting all the people in between.
Yeah, it's very linear.
Yeah. So yeah, that sounds like it's just what the series is needing.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to check it out, see how it's so different.
Yeah.
I got Game Pass. I'll play it. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never played any of them all the way through.
Oh, really?
I'll play this one. Yeah, no. I've wanted to, like, it's one of those games that I've started 40,000 times.
Yeah.
Like Gears of War 1, I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, this thing crashed. Oh, let's go kill these things. But I was like, ugh, I don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it.
But I'll try the latest one.
It's what I'm like. It's what I'm like with Destiny a little bit. It's like I really like the mechanics Bungie uses in Destiny. Like, it feels really nice to play, and I don't generally like first person shooters, but I really like how Destiny feels to play. It's just there's no content to the game. It's just an absolute grind fest. You do the same things in and out to get progression. For what? So you can do the same things on and on again. And it's like, what's the point? I can't get interested in something unless there's like a story or a reason for me to do it, you know?
It's kind of how I felt about Borderlands every time I've tried to play it. But I think I just got into Borderlands 2, and I think I kind of like it, and I want to play that before Borderlands 3 comes out. Jeez, every time I move my hair, this shit comes up. But yeah, I think I'll probably get Borderlands 3 and play that.
Right, so last episode, follow-up comments, all that kind of stuff.
We're doing that, are we?
I think we
What
should.
was that?
People in the phone bank, I'll be with you shortly. In fact, I won't be with you. I'll just drag you in.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, we trust you. We trust you, people. We know.
Right, so episode 47, the Casino DLC.
What did that do? 5 viewers?
We had 52 comments in total. And the secret word was gears.
Oh, yeah.
52 weeks in the year. I get about what do we get? 14 days of vacation. That's 2 weeks. 2 times 14 is 28 plus 5. I'm gonna go with 32.
The first number that came to my head was 20, so that's what I'm going with.
Okay. Congratulations, RDT. The correct answer was 33.
Wow, there you go.
Phil's...
That convoluted math word.
Actually, sorry, I'm wrong. I read that wrong. Excuse me.
Oh, no.
It's been a long day. Sorry, the correct answer was actually 25.
Yes!
But they mentioned it
His
33
face.
times. 25 comments. And they mentioned it 33 times. I'm sorry,
Okay.
it's been a long day. Phil's also done a bit of maths. If you take the 52 comments, you multiply it by 25 of them that mentioned it, and add 33, which is the total amount of times, then you get 1,333, which is quite close to 1322.
Pretty close. Pretty close. RDT's left.
Illuminati.
Rip DT.
It's fine. It's fine.
Luckily, I'm a rich guy and I can hear everything you're saying.
Right, so phone bank.
Phone bank. Who have we got first? Who's going to do the?
Oh yeah, we
the
don't have
opening?
Nos to introduce people.
I'll do it.
I'm not.
All right.
Oh, okay. Okay, we've got Dr. Cola Bottle first.
Hello, caller. This is the choke of the week. Tell me how you're feeling in your throat section today.
It's not the joke of the week. Not yet.
Whatever the hell it is.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't Nos.
It sounded just like Nos. It was like he was here in the room.
So my question is not really to do with what we've been talking about, what you guys have been talking about, but I wanted to know what you guys drink when you're gaming or just for relaxing. I know obviously RDT is very partial to apple juice, but
Drink as in alcoholic or non-alcoholic? Or
either or,
both?
either or.
I mean,
I'm
mostly, God, I never. These kind of questions really show how much of a boring person I am. Because for me, mostly that I'm drinking water a lot of the time. Like Pepsi Max is probably my go-to, especially after the taste test that we did this time last year, and but it kind of made me realize how good it actually is. But Pepsi Max would be my go-to sort of chill out if it's cold in the fridge or whatever. But most of the time I'm drinking water, and very rarely, every so often, I'll have a beer, but not very often at all.
fair enough.
Interesting.
Boring ass.
I'm exactly the same. Water or Pepsi Max.
Well, this is a terrible question.
Yeah, if I'm drinking booze, it'll either be I can't drink booze at the moment because I'm # strict keto at the moment.
Shit, boy.
Strict
Getting lit.
keto and intermittent fasting. So
White boy.
yeah, I know. If it's going to be booze, it'll either be Southern Comfort and Cloudy Lemonade, or it'll be beer, just or like a Miller Genuine Draft or something. Or Coors
Ooh,
Light.
wow, really? Look at you with your American macro lagers. So for me, I think my answer would probably shock people. On like a daily basis, I stopped drinking during the week just because I like to stay sharp during school days. So it goes probably water would be my number one. Seltzer water would be my number two. So carbonated
bit of
water.
variation.
Yeah, little fun.
Mix it up a bit.
Yeah, those would be my first two. And then like if I'm training, like on days that I do jujitsu, I'll do Gatorade just to replenish those electrolytes. And then it probably goes beer, these new hard seltzers, which are great. I love the hard seltzer, the alcoholic seltzer. And then wine, and then liquor. Those are my top 6 or 7. But on a daily basis, it's water, seltzer.
I can't do wine and game. Like if I'm drinking wine, my full focus is on the wine. I don't focus on anything else.
Well, I'll buy like
thing,
one of those 4-liter jugs of wine.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's like I'm getting toasted tonight with the wine. Wine is my go-to thing for getting absolutely, utterly smashed.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It gets me drunk
Irish
like
whiskey.
nothing else, and it comes on fast. So I can be like, oh, I'll just go and drink like 2 or 3 bottles of wine and just be like absolutely fine, and then boom, I'll fall straight on my face. So
I
that has
yeah,
happened once.
I enjoy wine, just in general.
Yeah, it's great.
I think Hispano's got it right. Coke with lemon. That's the way
But
forward.
yeah, the taste test that we did, the blind taste test that we did this time last year, regular Pepsi and regular Coke were the 2 worst.
Yeah.
So
Just wrong.
they were so bad.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I forgot to mention, if I'm feeling particularly fruity, I will have a dandelion and burdock.
Ooh,
What the
I've
hell
never
is
actually
that?
had
What the hell? I was waiting for RDT to not have a clue what that was.
It's an English drink. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's so good. It's probably my favorite. I forgot about it. I always forget
Is
about
it a
it.
mixed drink? What is it?
It's just a soft drink.
It's a soft drink, yeah. Made
But-
from dandelions, the flowers.
And burdock is
Sweet.
some flower as well, I guess. I don't know.
It's very acquired, that taste.
Yeah, dandelion and burdock is foul. The thing is, Xerxes thinks the same thing. She thinks it is absolutely disgusting. But I love it. And then when one of her friends came to visit, she tried it as well, and she liked it. So it's one of those things where you probably either love it or hate it. But it is a very unique taste. If you can find it, RDT, you should get it and try it on the podcast. Since it's not an American thing, I doubt it'll be difficult to find. But
Speaking of taste, I only just
Yeah.
I only just found out within the last couple of days that I'm going to have to change dialects here. So coriander, bruv, and cilantro, RDT, because they're called different things in America because America. 50% of people in the world will taste coriander or cilantro as just like a normal sort of herb, and 50% will taste it like dishwater soap. I found out recently that I'm one of the people that tastes it like soap. It's,
Really?
it's
Wait,
a
hold on.
horrible soapy
Really?
taste.
What?
Wait,
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on. Before you say anything,
Okay.
coriander and
Yep.
cilantro are the same thing?
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that, but then I didn't know that. So I didn't already know what cilantro was.
Wait, what? In
They're just
the,
called
in the
they're just called
US,
different things.
in the US, if you go to the spice aisle, you can buy. I'm pretty sure I have coriander in my spice rack or whatever. I didn't realize that was
International of
cilantro.
you. Yeah.
What?
We're all learning things
cilantro.
today.
Yeah, I found that out with one of my keto meals. I was like, this tastes like fucking dish soap. What the fuck's going on? And I looked up. I was like, oh, it's got chopped coriander in it. I must be one of those people. Cool.
Okay, that's so weird.
Yeah. And then I
like
had
cilantro.
another meal. I was like, this tastes soapy too now. What the fuck? And it chopped coriander. I was like, oh fuck. Right. Okay.
The more you know, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Dr. Colabot. It gave very boring answers, I suppose.
I
but
wish I had another question. That was a shitty.
No, it was a great question.
it led on to
Question,
some
it's a good
interesting
question.
conversation.
Also, Broughy,
No
you are
doubt.
the most boring person in the world.
That
Hell
is
yeah,
accurate.
brother.
Yeah.
That's what we like to hear.
How rude. I'm getting him out of here immediately.
It's not very nice, was it?
I know. And we'll have to ban him from future
Ban him from
questions.
phone banks, I know.
But then we'll have nobody to call in. So,
That's a fair point. Yeah.
right, the next question that we've got is from Nightingale.
Bit choppy. Okay, I'm
What the fuck was that? Huh?
Huh?
Hey,
What do you
hello
think?
caller. Welcome to the Choking Hazard podcast.
Can I be heard?
Roll Tide, and we can hear you, but you can't hear us apparently. What's your question?
Okay, so my question regarding, especially that Nos is not here, so he cannot come with his depressive
I'm
thoughts.
here, brother.
No offense, Nos. Nice, fine. We love you as well. But no, really, I was just kind of wondering, since it came up recently, that I don't think you guys ever told what you find your happiness in life. So what is it that you look forward to doing? What is it that it brings joy to you in everyday life? And I think it would be a interesting thing to discuss. So just
Nothing.
briefly
Every
here.
day is constant pain.
Yeah, that's a deep
that's-
question. It's very deep. What makes you happy, essentially?
Yeah, basically on an everyday level, yes.
We are getting deep tonight. Phew.
Wow.
I'm one of these people that like seeing other people happy. So if I can like cheer someone up by, I don't know, like
Giving me
like
$100.
making them laugh. When I was a kid, my dream was to be a stand-up comedian. And you know, as you get older, those things change. I might come back to it sort of later in life, but I really wanted to be a stand-up comedian. So if I can make someone laugh, that makes me really happy. If I can cheer them up or like bring happiness to their day, that makes me really happy.
Oh, that's so sweet, actually.
I feel I feel similarly, honestly. Like when I like being able to bring joy to people, and you know, whenever the 4 times that I have streamed, it was like if there were 5 people watching and 4 people were having fun, I would want to know what would that 5th person would want to make that 5th person have fun. But honestly, for me, it's kind of searching to be a better version of myself than I was yesterday, a week ago, a month ago. Like anything that I can do to just be a better person, be a better brother, son, uncle, you know. And that's why I feel like working out is really good. And then like working on relationships is really fun. Just like it's important to be a good person in this crazy experience that we all share. Like make it easier for everybody and be a good person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If
That's actually quite wise.
I think if you put a lot in, you get a lot out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fair, yeah.
I don't know. This is too deep for me.
Nothing makes me happy.
No. I'm not in the right frame of mind. I think to answer this question.
Does racing make you happy?
Yeah. Does karting, does streaming make you happy?
Well, yeah, there's lots of things that make me happy. I feel like I'm generally a happy person. I don't know. I don't know whether I can pinpoint specifically one thing that, you know. I guess
Does releasing your fastest car series and helping people save their money make you happy?
Well, yeah, all of that.
Being a source of information.
I guess it's
Being a role model, people that look up to you.
Bruff doesn't want to drop his hard man look.
Oh yeah, I'm so intimidated by Broughy.
I guess it's just yeah, being. I mean, I think you covered it quite well. Being a better version of yourself every day. In sort of like, yeah, all the aspects when it comes to work, whether it's YouTube, streaming. What the goal of that is to inform people or make people happy or provide entertainment for people. If I feel like I'm succeeding at doing that, then that brings me happiness. At home, if I'm, looking after the guinea pigs and making them happy and feeding them, food that they think are happy, that makes me happy. And obviously, Xerxes, anything that makes her happy, or things that we do together and time that we spend together. Just I guess feeling like I'm getting something out of life makes me happy. Like feeling like I'm doing something or having a life experience or just being a happy, good person, I guess. I don't know. It's a difficult one to really pin down. I'm not in the right frame of mind to really go into it.
So what you're saying is being happy makes you happy.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
That's pretty
Fair
much
enough,
what
you
I've,
selfish bastard.
Comedian. Yes.
yeah. That's how it's ended up. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint it right now. And I'm not in the right frame of mind for it. It's not the best moment to ask me that kind of question, I think. But that's the best I can come up with right now. Maybe ask me again in a couple of months.
Maybe once you have kids, then the kids will bring you happiness.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
you cannot really.
Yeah.
I mean, for now, at least you have a good community, and then I guess that just interacting with them, at least if I were in your position, that would make me happy. For example, so
Well, that's
maybe
what I'm
you just
saying,
got
like-
used to it like so much.
There's so many aspects of my life that is making me happy. It's difficult to give one specific answer that something that I do or something that I'm doing that makes me happy, because pretty much everything I do in my life is something that's making me happy, because if it didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. I think that's how I generally approach things.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I see you as a lucky person in this regard, that you pretty much got what you wanted from life, and you're already doing it, going on that way that you envisioned, I guess. But anyway, I don't want to elongate this much longer. So thank you for your answers. It was insightful.
Thank you for the deep question.
So yeah, sorry for being too deep a bit in this.
It's all right. It's good. It's all good.
It's fantastic.
Thank you, Gary.
That's privilege right there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there is an element of falling on my feet and being lucky, so I don't have to do things that I don't really want to do. But
but if you think about it, you were on YouTube for what, since 2007, like since the freaking thing came out, and you only suddenly found success once GTA 5 came out. And we're able to capitalize on that. It's not your fault for putting in hard work and then finally finding success.
No, I guess. I think in life I've always had that approach of, that's just kind of how I am. I'm not happy if I'm doing I'm really, really not happy doing something that I don't want to do or I feel is progressing. Like, I went for a job interview. There we go. I've got a story. Can you believe it? I've actually got a story to tell. What?
There we go, baby.
It's only taken till right at the very end of this podcast, but he's got one.
Out of university, I was trying to figure out what I was doing, and there was a constant problem with me figuring out what I could do in life throughout uni. But I went for a job interview after I was done at Nissan in the Northeast. And I was interviewing for a what was it called? The position, operations manager. So it was like dealing with utilizing various things in mathematics as well that would come into it, and that's why I was kind of thinking I was maybe interested in it as a field to go into. And during the interview process thing that they were doing, I was so, I don't know, I just couldn't get into anything that was being said. I was feeling like this just isn't right for me. I'm not feeling like this is right. And my mind was just completely really, like, I was kind of zoned out from it, to be honest. And I think that's kind of how I've always been with things in life. Like, if it's something that I can't just do something if I'm not intrigued or involved or in some way feeling like it's progressing me as a human or a person or whatever. And that's just how I am, and I feel like that's why it took me so long to figure out what I wanted to do. Yes, I fell on YouTube, but I always felt like maybe the community aspect kind of thing was something that, was going to be where I wanted to be. But yeah, and it's just the sort of those personality type things that you do where there's 16 different personalities that you can be. And I remember doing mine, and it was very similar to what I've just said. You not the kind of person who will do a 9-to-5 job 5 days a week and be happy with that. Whereas there's some personality types that will do that because they're feeling like they're contributing to something. And it's just little differences like that. I'm not knocking one way or another. I'm just saying that's how I've always been, and so making me happy, things that make me happy, I guess, are generally things that I've rambled too much now.
Thieves in the night.
When does the story start?
Nancy, please.
Oh God, I'm done.
No, this is great.
I'm
no,
done.
keep going.
No, I'm done. I got nothing.
He thought he had a story. This guy thought he had a story.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good story, was it? See, this is why I must block out stories from my
It was
mind.
it was more of a lesson than a story.
Can we get cool story bobs in chat, please?
Oh God.
It's fine. It's fine.
It was a fine story. It was great.
No, I'm done. I'm done with everything. That's it.
Cool story bob.
it.
We need cool story.
Streams
bob
are
and
cancelled.
popcorn
I'm going.
in the chat.
The only thing that this podcast has done, I was already in a bit of a not in the best place coming into it. All it's done is make me realize how boring I am and how bad I am at life.
Oh no, that's not what
So
we're trying to do.
I'm done. That's it. Just embarrass myself in all areas. Just when I'm doing GTA races, I can pass it off as, you know, entertainment.
What a comeback. Oh man.
I
damn it.
did Dr. Cola Bottle. I've posted your meme in our special chat for the Choking Hazard podcast. If the two gentlemen that I'm streaming
What do you
with-
resume? You're calling question too boring.
I gotta show this on the screen. Oh, the meme.
Too bad.
There it is. You realise you've made your calling question too boring. Oh man, good times.
Good times indeed.
So, should we get rid of this and do choke of the week? Get this over and done with. You have this community
I
that makes
will
your life
say-
automatically more interesting than mine. But that's how I always feel. It's not me that makes the streams interesting or makes my life interesting. It's you lot. Like me as a pet, I'm boring. Anyway.
I will say the quality this week was terrible. Do better, Choking Hazard community. There were 3 submissions this month. 3.
It's
And
been a
only
longer
one of
month
them
as
was
well.
An actual choke. Sort yourself out.
Good lord.
Boo. Yeah, we can boo the community.
Yeah.
Get submitting all your crazy chokes.
So what have we done? Taken some from previous weeks as well.
We've taken some from previous weeks as well. Yeah.
Right. So where did I need to start the second one again? Let me just check it, just to make sure. 243. All right. So let's bring it up.
Where are the choking?
There we go. Let's
That volume, dog.
let's start it now. Divest 8 for this first one on a stunt race. The title is "Don't Celebrate Too Early," so that is kind of
What the hell is he driving? What
pay
is this
attention
car?
to this guy. You don't know the Divest 8?
No.
Okay. It was out earlier this year.
Looks like a
Oh,
Batmobile.
okay.
That's the way this goes.
Okay.
All right.
The guy tries to showboat,
Oh, look at that, boy.
and then we're
Wow.
skipping to 240. There you go. So the guy tried to showboat in the first clip, spun it around, and ended up losing.
Okay. So
Now
this
we're
is
on
the
premium
stream.
race, muscle in. Is it a premium race? It kind of feels. Yeah, it has to be if it's
Yeah,
non-contact with
has to.
slipstream.
Ooh. Oh man.
This was a Dominator versus Yosemite battling for the lead.
Got our piss.
Using
Dom.
all the sweaty lines here.
Yeah,
Piss Dom up front right now.
classic
Nice.
muscle in
That was
lines.
good.
Oh, it's
Yosemite's
close.
got the legs on him though.
It's very
Ooh,
close.
that was close. Oh no.
Oh.
He's handled it.
Oh, he spun out on. Okay, the Yosemite spins out on the final corner and loses it after being in the lead.
Okay, so that's 2 in a row where our recorder was not involved in the choke.
Oh, that was a really
very
short clip,
short.
that last one. I'll play it again.
I didn't even see it, so it's not even loaded in for me.
Wow. Right at the So,
Ooh!
to be fair,
How'd they
even
even
though the
manage that?
selections might have not been that good for those that were actually sent in this month, the actual ones that we've had to show have all been pretty good. The leader
Yeah.
at the final part of the race losing it.
Yes.
So
Bit of a theme.
the third one,
Bit of a theme.
I don't want to. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna.
I think we might be on the
say
same
anything.
page here, bruv.
Well, I was gonna say
Is the
more.
third one a choke?
Nah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Like,
Is it really?
you know.
It's kind of just a bug.
Well, you could argue, could you
Could've
have
landed
positioned
better?
your car better to take that, because it's a known thing, particularly on that race.
I probably would have got caught out from it, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, the straw poll is in the chat. Which one do you want to be the winner this month? Choke 1, Choke 2, or Choke 3? Divest 8, showboarding, fail, dominate Yosemite battle ending with a spin out on the final corner, fail, or game fail, let's say, for the final one. The choke is on Rockstar. Yeah.
Only one of the chokes this week was actually submitted by the person that was choking.
Oh, really?
The last one, I imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a choke that I was going to submit, but it was very similar to the first clip that we saw from the Patreon stream earlier today, where, damn it, I can't remember his name now.
Philadelphia area. Where's Philly?
We were playing Wreckfest anyway, and someone was in the lead. I was second, and he tried to do a showboarding thing right at the final part of the track as he crossed the finish line, and he forgot where the finish line was because it's not clearly marked in Wreckfest. So he did his showboarding too early, and I ended up winning. Rowdy
Much the
Burns
same
it
as
was,
the
wasn't
first
it?
clip. Yeah.
Very similar to the first clip.
Good grief, it's close.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So
I wonder if our vote could change things.
we've got 2 chokes with 20 votes and 1 with 14.
Okay. So our votes are gonna impact this then.
Yeah, I've already voted, so my
You
vote's
voted on
already
the straw
counted in
poll,
that one.
okay. So me and RDT, depending on what we think is the best choke.
You already voted, Cameron?
Yep, because I've got the straw poll up in front of me. So
Look at you.
So I think number 3 isn't enough of a choke to be winning.
I agree.
So I'm not voting for 3. So it's between 1 and 2, and I think I'm gonna vote for choke 2. Because the stakes were quite high with a premium race. He was in the lead, and he took the corner badly enough to fail right on the last corner. Whereas the Divest 8, I don't feel like it was as much of a choke because he was trying to do something stupid at the end, and he got what he deserved. Whereas choke 2,
But isn't that a choke in itself where you're in first place, you're pretty sure that you can pull off what you're trying to do, and then you just completely fail, and then someone else wins?
I guess, but I feel like choke 2 had more of a intent to take the corner properly and failed at it, whereas the first one was,
Yeah.
You
I
vote
just
however
know
you
that-
want to vote, of course.
I just know that the Yosemite overturns.
It does. That is
like
what
a
it does. That's true.
mother.
Yeah.
And if you've raced around that area, you know that
that
kind of
corner on that track is a nightmare.
Yeah,
for
it is
cars
deadly.
bottoming about.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like that was destined to happen. I'm gonna vote for number 1.
So you think that the only really mainly self-inflicted one was number 1?
Oh yeah, I think he knew that he had the lead. He was destined to win, and said, "Hey, I'm going to do this little thing."
It wasn't.
This
It
little
wasn't a
celebration.
win. It wasn't for a win.
Choked it-
was like
choked out.
third place.
Was it for third
was
place,
it?
number one?
It was for third place. Yeah.
Oh, well then choke
You
number
lost
2.
third place.
Yeah, I'm going choke number
Choke
2
number
then.
2.
You did persuade me at that point until it was. If it was for the win, you had persuaded me
Yeah, if it was for
to
the win, I
switch.
would've said choke 1.
Yeah.
Choke 3.
I also
Choke
picked
two.
choke number 2. Choke
Okay.
2 was my choice as well. So unfortunately, choke number 2 was in last place.
Oh,
Really?
Um,
What?
Choke number 2 was in last place with 22%.
Have you guys ever watched this podcast? Do you guys know what a choke is? Do you know what the hell is happening here?
And the winner was actually choke number 3, which we all dismissed
wow. Okay.
with 43% of the vote, and choke number 1 with 35% of the vote.
Ah,
Lunatics.
so it was 20 votes each for those two, and then they've. I'm
We
guessing.
got a few more coming in, so it was. It was.
Of course now they're going to agree with us.
16 votes for Yosemite bottoming out, 22 votes for Celebrating Early, and 28 votes for the Pariah bottoming
All
out
right.
at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're all stupid,
So, yeah.
but
But
So-
good job on choking.
Yeah.
number 3. Who
you all
those-
choked the choke vote.
Those
Choke
clips
goes
were,
to you.
those clips were submitted by it was a guy called Flying Past You that submitted the first one. It was Baggins HD that submitted the second one, which was the Yosemite and Yosemite and
Pisswasser Dominator.
Pisswater Dominator race, and it was Lomain who gave us our winning
Lomain.
clip.
I suppose at least the winner was the one
Dominator
person who
Pariah.
submitted his own clip.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So good job, Lomain. You're terrible and also unlucky for the game hating you.
Yeah.
So there we go. Another podcast done and dusted. We need a word
We need a word.
for those who made it to the end.
Should be Nos related since he wasn't here. Roll
Oh,
Tide.
he gets too
Did-
much attention. Let's not go.
Did people want hooker?
Oh yeah, just Scotland things maybe.
Hooker.
Scotland things.
Hashtag. Oh, don't do hashtags. Hashtags will get
don't
caught
do
by the
it.
spam system in YouTube. Just Scotland things. Let's do that. Hooker might get caught by spam as well.
Trigger things.
Yeah. Let's do just Scotland things. There you go. That's your word for.
Just
this week.
Scotland things.
So there we go. I've come out of this podcast worse than when I entered it. Feeling pretty
No.
feeling pretty
the
shit about
hell,
myself.
We've had a laugh. You've
We
had
have
a
had a
Wow.
laugh. Yeah, we have.
Yeah. The boys. Yeah.
The boys. Watch the boys, by the way. If you have a strong
Watch
stomach.
the boys.
If you have a strong
Watch the
stomach.
boys. Watch the boys on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Yeah, that show's crazy. It's like Tarantino did a Marvel film and just cranked his violence to 11. It's insane, yo.
Okay.
It's crazy.
All right. Okay. Right. That'll do us then. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even think. Do you want to do
Don't
an
say
apple
anything.
juice?
Don't say anything.
Okay.
What?
Nothing
Huh?
happened. Nothing
Huh?
was said. There's nothing. I didn't say anything. Goodbye. All right. Do you want to say goodbye, guys?
Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Bye.